not want to put too much stuff over top of the product. And if you want to actually give some depth to this thing, you can, you know, just kind of, oh, that's too much, slowly fade this off into the background up here. My text is going across here, so I do have to be careful. This is legible. There's not too much stuff. So you just want some subtle effects. Every time I do this ad, it comes out looking different. I'm rather impressed with myself at the moment. Sweet. Looking good. So once we have that set up, oh, we actually have to go back here and we gotta put on some black on the girl here. You could paint her, you could do whatever you want. Usually what I prefer to do is I'm going to go and actually put an adjustment layer on this guy, and I'm going to do a hue saturation, or I can do levels. Let's do levels. Make sure it's grouped, and I betcha, here we go, and I'm just going to darken this thing right down. This way, because I'm doing levels, I'm actually boosting the color inside this image. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a layer mask, then I'm going to fill it, so the black to mask everything off, and then I'm going to go in here with my gradient tool. Oops. Oops. There we go. Interesting. Well, that is curious. There we go. Don't use the gradient tool. I actually use the brush instead. The gradient tool will apply a global effect all the way through everything. You don't want that. You just want to affect the stuff down here. So just go in with a big brush and slowly paint away. Beauty. So now we have that done. Save it. Go back to Adobe Illustrator. It's going to update everything, and it's going to take a second because this is a layered file. Looking good. So there you go. This is pretty much set up. Actually, I would probably move everything over this way a little bit because I think it should be more centered like so. So actually I'd have to add more black on this area. But all in all, it looks pretty good. So there you go. There's the ad itself. What we're going to do now, because I'm actually running out of time, I'm going to cut this short. What we got to do now is actually take this and finalize it and make it into a CMYK document. So I'm going to go over here into Photoshop, and I'm just going to bring this down a bit so you can see. So first thing a lot of people do is, or they're like, oh, let's just do this mode CMYK. If you do this, and you got to do this eventually, but it's the wrong order. If you do this, you're going to say, hey man, changing modes will discard some adjustment layers, change modes anyway. If you do that, all the cool color adjustments you've done are going to go all out of whack. So you don't want to do that. Cancel that. You want to go over here to your layers, select the topmost layer if you wish, and you want to go to merge visible. Not flatten image, because that'll just squish everything. Merge visible. And what it's going to do is it's going to take everything that's important that you have turned on, obviously, merge it together, take the stuff you don't need, get rid of it. Now what you want to do is you're going to go in here, then you go under mode CMYK, and it's going to tell me I'm switching CMYK profiles. That's okay. And you'll see, notice I'm going to go in here, the only change that you saw that's happened, only minor changes, okay, but that's CMYK, there's RGB, CMYK, RGB. So the color is shifting in here just a wee bit, but it's not that bad. If you were to do it the other way, you'd have color shifts all over the place. So once we have this guy saved, you can save it as a Photoshop file, or you can save it as an EPS. You know, if you want to be super amazing, cool designer person, save it as an EPS, because that just makes it easier for the PDFs to do their job. So we're going to go down here to save as, and we're going to call this Photoshop EPS. Now, if you do the save it as a Photoshop file, make sure to put, you know, something on the end of the file called like flat, a descriptor, because if you just flatten this image and then save it as, you know, fake ad 3, save it as your working layered file, you're going to save over all that work you've done, all your layered files. So be careful. So it's left 3, so I'm going to save that as an EPS. I'm going to go, yeah, sure, I want to save that. We're all golden here. Okay, once that's been saved, we can get rid of this thing. We don't need it anymore. Get rid of her. Don't need her. So now we're going to go back here. Click on the image. Go to Fake Ad. Go to Relink. Go to my EPS. Make sure it's linked. Place. It's going to do its thing. Eventually. There you go. Done. So that's how you do a sweet fake ad using Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. So set all the type in Illustrator, unless there's any kind of weird special effects or texturing you have to do. Then it's cool to do it in Photoshop. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this little toot, and come back for more. Thanks.